A land soaked in blood and money. This is Sinaloa, one of the most dangerous criminal battlegrounds on Earth. For decades, it was ruled by one man, Joaquín El Chapo Guzman. But in 2017, everything changed. El Chapo was extradited to the United States and sentenced to life in prison. The throne was suddenly empty, and almost immediately, a new generation stepped forward. At the center of it all was his eldest son, Iván Archivaldo Guzmán, known on the streets as El Chapito. Iván Archivaldo Guzmán Salazar was never meant to live a normal life. From the moment he could walk, he was surrounded by the machinery of organized crime. As the eldest son of El Chapo, he didn't just inherit a last name. He inherited expectations. Alongside his brothers, Joaquín, Ovidio, and Alfredo, they were raised inside the inner circle of the Sinaloa Cartel. The world would later know them as Los Chapitos. But their education didn't come from family alone. They were mentored by Ismael El Mayo Zambada, the cartel's chief strategist and one of the most elusive figures in the drug trade. In 2016, everything changed. While celebrating Iván's birthday at a luxury restaurant in Puerto Vallarta, armed men stormed the building. Iván and his brother Alfredo were taken hostage. The order came from Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho. For a moment, the Guzman dynasty seemed finished, but even from behind bars, El Chapo's reach was still deadly. A message was delivered. If his sons were not released, the retaliation would be personal. 4 days later, Iván and Alfredo walked free, unharmed. It wasn't just a rescue, it was a message. Los Chapitos are untouchable. After El Chapo was permanently removed in 2017, Los Chapitos moved fast. Iván emerged as the cartel's primary decision-maker. Territory, alliances, enforcement. While some of his brothers were captured, Iván and Alfredo disappeared. Under his leadership, the cartel evolved. They shifted aggressively into synthetic drugs, especially fentanyl. Hidden labs spread across rural Sinaloa, chemicals imported from Asia, millions of counterfeit pills produced every year, a substance up to 50 times more powerful than heroin, fueling an overdose crisis across North America. Los Chapitos are not just a cartel. They operate like a multinational corporation. Estimates place their revenue in the billions every single year. Since 2017 alone, the organization may have generated hundreds of billions of dollars. As the man at the top, Iván controls a significant share, potentially placing him in the same financial league as Pablo Escobar, or even beyond. That money buys power, politicians, law enforcement, private armies. Iván Archivaldo Guzmán doesn't hide his wealth. Gold-plated weapons, custom-engraved firearms, private jets, exotic animals, million-dollar supercars. But his most powerful investment isn't hardware, it's image.
He finances custom narco corridos, performed by major artists. Songs designed to glorify his name, his power, and his lifestyle. For Ivan, music isn't entertainment. It's marketing. It builds myth. It creates legend.
Power is never inherited peacefully. It is taken. After El Chapo's fall, Sinaloa did not unite. It fractured. Inside the cartel, a brutal internal war began. Iván Archivaldo and his brothers faced a dangerous rival faction, led by Ismael El Mayo Zambada's sons. Former allies turned enemies. Routes were contested. Labs were burned. Assassinations became daily routine. This wasn't chaos. It was consolidation. Ivan's strategy was ruthless but calculated. Unlike his father, he avoided public exposure. He delegated violence. He weaponized fear. And he modernized warfare. Drones were used for surveillance. Encrypted communications replaced phones. Entire towns were forced into silence or loyalty. Today, Iván Archivaldo Guzmán is one of the most wanted fugitives on the planet. The United States has placed a multi-million-dollar bounty on his capture. He's charged with trafficking, conspiracy, and narco-terrorism. Yet he remains free, constantly moving, hidden in fortified ranches, jungle compounds, and remote regions. Invisible, powerful, hunted. Iván Archivaldo Guzmán remains the shadow ruler of one of the deadliest criminal organizations in the world. Because in the world of power, what you don't see can still control everything. Iván Archivaldo Guzmán remains one of the most wanted fugitives in the world. U.S. authorities believe he is still operating somewhere in northwestern Mexico. The Drug Enforcement Administration has offered a multi-million-dollar reward for information leading to his arrest. If you have information, you are urged to contact authorities. Tips can be submitted anonymously through official DEA channels. Because as long as demand exists, someone will always rise to supply it.